Hi. Hello, hello. It's so nice to be here. Um, whew, I don't know about you guys, but it's been a big couple of weeks for us, a big couple of months for us. And I am amazed at um how much of a rock this practice is for me. And so, thank you for being here with me, and thank you for coming and showing up and doing this with me because I know in my personal life, this is becoming an intricate part of my life. Even the small practice, I do find myself being creative a little bit here and there in other ways, especially with my kids. But doing my own art, I'm not doing any of that right now because I'm so busy organizing and moving and being with the kids. And yeah, this has become a really important place for me. So thank you for being here with me. And I have a bit of a headache, so I've moved my light over. So I'm sorry, I can't really see my face very well. It's all about my hands anyway, right? I have recently started following a couple of women on Instagram. Andrea Nelson, I believe her handle is Andrea Nelson Art. Um, and then the other woman's name is Lacey. Her handle is something like Unicorn Artist or something. I don't know. Um, I'll find out, and I will let us know. Um, they have recently both shared the coolest thing, and I want to try it. So I'm gonna actually get two pieces of paper out because I want to go ahead and make these kind of big. Um, just on the off chance that they're cute enough to hang up and have as Halloween decorations. I want to do some Halloween stuff. Um, I do need my spray bottle, but that's my travel one, and I have one right here. I think I'm gonna want my Sharpies, my pencil. That's probably enough. I might want my white pen, my white marker. And I need my brushes. I believe these are mine. So I have my travel kit set up to be enough for me and somebody else to play with me. I mean, clearly that like I have four brushes there, so four people can paint at the same time. But I kind of have two sets of brushes, and I do have additional watercolor palettes, and that's just everything else is pretty much the same now. Um, my watercolor sheets and my sketch pad and stuff like that. But I just want to point that out as I point out all the things. I feel really good about the way that my kit is feeling. I replaced the box that had cracked in travel, and yeah, replenished the paper a little bit, organized the paper a little bit, and yeah, got that a second roll of brushes in there, and so now it's like my one kit that just kind of can go everywhere. So I'll set that aside for now. I'm going to use a watercolor palette. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and start using my palette that I like so much. This is still a great palette. Please use it if that's the one you've got. This is an awesome palette. My girls have gotten it all dirty up, and I'm annoyed by that. So I'm going to start using my personal palette, which is this one, which they've also muddied up and worn out quite a bit. And I need to look into seeing if any of this is replaceable. I don't even know the brand of this, so I might just have to look into getting little pods, which you can usually buy certain colors. If I can even decide on what color those are. I don't think there's any way to, but this was not an expensive palette. It's been a great palette. I really enjoyed it. go ahead and wet it, even though we're not quite there yet, but I always like to have a well wet palette. Maybe that's why it wears out so much. I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, this is so heavy. Okay. So the post that I don't think I'm gonna need this. This was earlier. One of my girls was down here. Got my brushes. I'm just gonna use, I have a spare cup right here. I'm just gonna put those in there along with all of these things. All right, so they each did something different. One of them did pumpkins and one of them did ghosts of the same type of thing. And they also did another monster thing. And so I'm thinking I want to do pumpkins because we actually just carved our first pumpkin and I want to see this glow effect. And I'm thinking monsters, but not doing a different technique. We're going to do the same technique. And we're going to do 2 at a time because there is a drying process in the middle of it. Well, still 1 at a time, but 2 at a time. To start with, we are going to cover this entire paper with like a yellowy, orangey glow color. So just yellow, bright yellow. I'm gonna go ahead and use my big brush since I'm using a big piece of paper here. If you're just using half sheets, I mean, great. There's no real need to do this, except I just feel like this might be fun to frame. My oldest birthday is Halloween and she really loves Halloween. And so we've already got all of our spooky decorations out and we've got everything decorated. I made her wait until October 1st and she was very patient. So our house, well, I mean, it's not like we go overboard. But starting in on some of these crafts with them is going to be really fun. This is one I want to do with them. So I'm going to use my filbert. I use my 1-inch flat there to do that. And I'm just going to start coming straight out of my pots here with the yellows. It's probably pretty yellow or pretty kind of greeny almost. And just start filling it in. Might even want some of my, I don't want to get too orangey because we're going to build on this. This is going to be our underpainting. And then we're going to do a little sketching on top of that and blot in our pumpkins. Sketch in our pumpkins. Closer to the water. So I'm just painting in the whole thing with the yellow, kind of ochery, yellow, orangey, but mostly yellow. And I probably should have, actually I definitely should have taped my paper down. If you haven't started yet, tape your paper down. It will be much easier to work on in the long run. And good news, we have to let this dry, and that's what we're going to do on the other one. So on to the other one. I got some smudges on one sheet side of my paper, so I'm just flipping it over. No other reason. So we're leaving that one to side to dry. This is a great project for if you have a blow dryer around to add to your world. Go ahead and do that. Bring that around. I'm going to do a different method. I'm going to use my spray bottle. Oh, you know what? I'm going to learn from my mistakes here. Let me get out a small blackboard. Put this one on. Watercolor, as you can tell, if you didn't tape your first one, it soaks the paper, which is what it's designed to do. It's great. Like that's what it's designed to do. But if you want to keep a flat surface, you need to tape your paper down. I get lazy. No big deal. And I paint on, but it's truly that much better. So, and I'm not using anything fancy here. What I have, and I'll collect them if the opportunity arises, is just the back side of a frame. So this is just a frame from Hobby Lobby or wherever. That's just the back side of it. So I could work to take these off. Sometimes it's nice to have the tiniest little bit of an angle. So you can kind of call that the top. A lot of watercolorists will kind of keep their paintings propped just a little bit, like we're talking about an inch maybe, if that, just to give it a steady flow so you don't get puddling around. And this is going to help puddling. It's not going to be the greatest job here. I can feel it. I have some because I wet this before I started. So whatever. I'm not that worried about it. We're playing here. We're playing. And ultimately, these things can dry flat. You just press them between books or between something heavy once they're dry. And that's fine. So this, I'm gonna make some monsters here and they're gonna be bright green. So I'm gonna go into my bright green and I'm just gonna start straight there. I'm gonna keep it bright, just like I did with the other ones. So I'll use more yellow. I got really wet, but that's okay. It's gonna help me keep it bright. And see now too, I can tilt. Ooh, you know what I'm gonna do while this is wet? I have new, it's new old salt and pepper shakers down here. Love it. I think I put some different salt in my. Let me introduce you to Sally Salt and Pierre Pepper. Some in here. I don't think I put any in there. Shoot. Okay, setting aside this one to dry. I'd even blotting out some of the puddles just so that it doesn't take forever to dry. Okay, put that over there. This one's plenty dry. So now we're talking pumpkins. And we're gonna bring out our pencil, the number 2 pencil that, or the 2B pencil if you're using from the shoebox. There's a 2B and a 6B stick. Use the 2B pencil. I just have a mechanical pencil. It's what I prefer. A number 2 is essentially a 2B. There's probably people that can test that, and I don't care. So we're gonna draw. Keep in mind there's gonna be 3 pumpkins here. Okay, one's gonna be up front, and then one's gonna be further back, and then one's gonna be in the far back. So I'm gonna start with my front one right here, and I'm just gonna pencil in. I'm gonna do the one that we just carved because this was very exciting. The fact that we've already carved a pumpkin really cracks me up. But I'm here for it. It's her birthday week, it's her month. I get it. And it's a very festive, exciting holiday. Okay. So, yeah. All right. So we're going to mix. Now we're going to mix a little bit of, I'm going to go ahead and clear off my, where's my paper towels? You guys, if you could see, my studio is half piled over in a corner over here. Because we just had a hurricane come through here, so it's been a little bit crazy here. So purple is my I'm considering cleaning up my palette over here. Purple is my complementary color to yellow, and blue is to orange. And the way to kind of dull and mute these colors is to use the complementary color. However, I don't need 4 areas full of purple. 1 area will suffice. So I've got purple over here, and I want to use yellow, orange way up there. So I want to clean it out good because they are the complements, and so I don't want them to immediately muddy my situation, which it's going to anyway, but it'll be all right. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and whoops, that's all right. Okay, so I'm gonna mix an orange. I'm gonna mix a bunch of it over here. I'm just kind of pulling from all my yellows and orangey reds. Okay, that's probably pretty good. I probably got it a little too dark there. But anyway, I'm going to use a lot of water, but just from my brush. I'm not going to wet the whole thing. And I'm going to stay out of the outlines that I drew for, now you can't see my paint as much, but see my outlines there? So I just drew a little spooky face. And I'm going to take this orange, which is a shade darker. Yeah, I mean, you want it to be like pumpkin orange. Let's see, I'm just going to keep going into. Now we're going to make it 3D. So I'm going to just kind of stick to your outline and stay. I'm getting a little bit sloppy, but stay on your outline there. I actually really, my birthday is coming up soon too, and I really like this time of year. It's my favorite. Fall is, I know fall is for a lot of people, but I'm not a huge Halloween fan, but holidays are fun. I love the costume. So I do like it because of costume opportunities. But the hype and the candy, it's kind of annoying. It's manufactured in the Americanized way. It's unfortunate. Okay, so now I've got my, okay, I've got all this space right here to put in. I'm gonna pull my bigger brush. Mop up that orange that I've done. Okay. All right, so now I'm gonna move over to the other one. Forgot. Let that one dry. This one's still not entirely dry. This time I'm gonna come in really lightly with my pencil. Actually, because this still needs to dry, let's get a scrap piece of paper and we're gonna cut out a monster. Okay, so just any kind of scrap piece of paper, just a piece of typing paper or a piece of an envelope from the trash even. Oh, perfect. And we're gonna cut out a scary shape. Kind of blobbish, spiky, whatever. We're gonna use it a couple different times. Like mine's like a little splat. Or like a lizard type thing. All right, so I'm gonna trace this guy twice. Actually, I think I might do it 3 times. We'll see how it fits. This one might not even end up being spooky. This one might be kind of more playful and plant-like. Because we're gonna go kind of purpley with this green color. So see how when I flip it over, it kind of creates a different shape? I like the shape that I created. It kind of came out of nowhere. It's like a 5-armed lizard or something. Okay, so with this one, we're going to keep it green. What's the green here? Oh, cool. I have 3 different greens there, so I'm just mixing all of them. Okay, and again, you want to just go around. So it's actually kind of cool that there's still some moisture. Hopefully it doesn't run into your pattern. So I didn't end up using, I mean, some of the places, this one has a lot of that in it, so that'll show up. I'm just gonna keep leaving those big salt crystals on my paper and just see what happens with them. Salt kind of repels the pigment, or it soaks it up. So it might have, you know, kind of a cool effect. Now I'm running out of paint, and that's what I was trying not to do. Running out of the color that I was using, but I know that I was just mixing all 3 of my greens here. I'm doing exactly what I told my girls. I tell my girls not to do. Don't put your finger. Brush in all 3 of the colors. All right. I'm an adult. I can do it. My palette. I can do it. Okay. So if you mix, the reason I'm kind of rushing through this, or it may seem like I'm rushing, perhaps it doesn't, I don't know. I am kind of rushing through this because I want to work with it, because it's watercolor, I really want to work with it while it's still kind of wet. Because then you get these cool effects and these cool things, and you don't get really hard edges, but you still have a bit of a movement look. You have a lot of movement going on. You have a lot of interesting things for the eye to look at. So I am kind of trying to keep everything wet at the same time, not let certain parts dry. You obviously do you, but there is intention behind my, and it helps to stay more free because you're not trying to be so particular. Okay, I'm running out of paint again. I'm also almost finished with my space. See how it kind of dried up here in this spot? And so then I kind of wanted to come in real quick and get that. Okay, so 1 shade darker here. Okay, I'm gonna put that one aside once you're satisfied, and hope that the other one is dry. Keep your shape around. All right, so now with our pencil, we're gonna come in and just give it, let's see, no, it doesn't go that way. Oh, oh, shoot. So I'm just gonna give it a little bit of give a little bit of dimension. It's not quite making sense in my head right now, to tell you the truth. Um, I don't feel like I have this right. But we'll keep going with it and see what happens. So now I'm gonna draw another spooky face up here. Oh, wait, and I need to draw the pumpkin around here. Okay, and then I'm gonna draw another spooky face over here. Okay, and we're gonna mix another orange. I have no idea what time it is. I wonder if this changes the recording. We'll find out, right? You're both still there. Okay, we're still doing good on time. Okay, so I've made a shape around the pumpkin. I've done this, and then I've done another face. Okay, so now we're gonna mix an even darker orange. Um, okay, and we're gonna do this two more times. I think maybe even three. Um, okay, so a darker orange, and now we're gonna stay outside of those lines. I feel like we should have done, you know what? Let's do both faces in right now. Okay. Hopefully you haven't done anything yet. Okay, yeah, I like that better. We'll do both faces because this is still kind of a glowy orange. And that's what we're trying to get, the effect of the glowy orange. So we're coming in with a little bit of a darker orange. And we're going to stay outside of everything we just painted. So see, I'm staying outside of, or everything we just drew. So I'm staying outside of that. And outside of these lines. The brush I'm using is actually maybe a little too big for these smaller spaces. So always feel free to like change your brush if you need to. Honestly, I'm just being lazy and I'm not. But you should feel free to do that if you, I mean, you're not committed to the brush you're using. Remember, this is your practice. You can do whatever you want. The woman that I learned this from, well, the first time I saw it, she was using just pieces of paper like this, um, taped down. Um, but the other woman, the one that she learned it from, and I went and learned it from as well. Um, she does it in she carries a sketchbook or she fills a sketchbook and she does like a full spread in a sketchbook, which I think is pretty cool. Um, she gets really nice little notebooks. These are obviously professional artists that I'm learning from, but I'm also a professional artist, I suppose. And I love to observe the way that other people make art. It's one of the beautiful things of social media, I think. I have a love-hate relationship with good old social media, but honestly, I would love to show up, and I hate that it takes time to do that. uh, all right, we've got most all of it. Okay. And then we'll set this one aside to dry. Make sure that's okay. Set that one aside to dry and come back to the green one. And this time we're gonna do the same thing, but we're just gonna skip. So I really like that stuff there. So I'm gonna bring it like this. So you can layer them. These guys are gonna look like they're behind in depth. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna try and avoid going through my guys that are already there. Now these look like creatures to me now, like little type lizard type things. Okay, see how I missed right there and right here? Okay, so I'm gonna do 3. I like the way the paint looks right there, so I'm trying to get this one to be kind of over that. And again, I just want to miss where I've already drawn. Okay, and then I'm gonna make an even darker green. And I'm probably gonna wet this purple again. So to make watercolors darker, you're just adding more pigment and less water. You can also do it by using darker colors, but ultimately it's the amount of pigment that you're putting on there. Okay, and now I'm going outside of the lines of anything I've already drawn. So here's where I just put this guy in. And also I'm skipping these lines too. Do you see that? So still staying outside of my original 3 that I put in there. And also this new guy here. Okay, so we're building in these layers, but with the light underneath it, I don't know, did they call it shadow painting or something? I don't think it was shadow painting. So we also are creating that more color, more pigment by being a second layer. So we've already painted in some places. When we come back in with our real dark at the end, it'll be neat to see the different the way that the different layers kind of sit on each other, and you'll see different colors coming through. I plan to use purple as my last layer. Honestly, for both of them, purple will be our last layer for both. So it'll be interesting to see how the purple sits on top of everything. I did much better on my paint, although I am still running out a little bit, but see how I have enough to kind of get around everything. Don't forget to breathe. It's a great opportunity to take some deep breaths while you're painting. I catch myself. Shallow breathing. We're always breathing, right? It's really coming alive on the screen there. I didn't quite realize how that was looking. This may end up looking fairly floral, or like it's begging for some floral, because the shape being kind of obscure, not definitive of some sort of creature that we all know. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. But that could be an interesting layer to do on top of this. I could also come back in. I don't know if we'll have time today, but I might also come back in and give the creatures, decide that they're creatures if I want to stick with the spooky theme. Decide that they are creatures and give them eyes and mouths, probably. Just give them a little bit of detail. So there's little pockets like that that will really help these things stand out against each other. Okay. And there we go. I think I've got it all. Okay, we'll set that one aside to dry. All right, so set that one aside to dry. And then bring this one back. Oh, got a little puddle right up here. Okay. Not sure how my three-dimensional part of this really worked, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that again here. And just kind of give these a little bit of 3D. If you feel like doing it, I'm not sure if it really was successful, but I'm gonna do it again. Just because it does kind of help like the idea of it being a jack-o'-lantern, right? Giving it a little bit of 3D. And by 3D, I hope you can see. I'm just kind of drawing in yeah, that one wasn't very successful. You want to give it a little bit of an angle. On one side and then not the other. Yeah, I'm not sure how successful it is, but we'll see. All right, so, and now, oh, and then we need to put our pumpkins in around and I think maybe I just put this in with pencil, but I think I can maybe come in afterwards and do a little like even with my watercolors, I can come back around. And give like the lines. You know what I mean? All right, so let's go with a purple. This is Louisville's purple here. I think I'm gonna have to make that go a little further. Just pretty much just using this and a little bit of that. Okay, and sticking around We maybe could have done one more layer of orange if we felt like it. I'm pretty happy with going with it at this point. I really like this kind of dark brown color that's being created here as I run out of the purple. So see how you can kind of blend your brush strokes if everything stays wet. If things get dry, you need to kind of add more water to that, to your situation. I mean, it is called watercolor for a reason. Water is usually your answer. And I think we'll have enough time to do this. Isn't that cool? So they're starting to kind of pop a little bit, right? So you can see we could have done 3 layers here. The fact that they kind of, yeah. So see how where I was going with that is I could have done 3 layers. I kind of got impatient and I got worried that we weren't going to have enough time. So next time you do it, or if you did do it, only one pumpkin the first time, or the second layer. And you can do a second one here. I think we can come back with, actually, I'm just going to use a really watered down version of this and just do a little bit of like some stripes coming down here. A little bit more of a pumpkin shape to it. And maybe even here too. Now I just watered down that light purple or that dark purple that I had been using. And I'm just trying to, they're curved on the outside more than they are on the inside. Okay. And then while we're in here, I'm gonna make the darker purple again. Maybe just pull from my dark purple. And while these are still dark, I'm gonna put in just a little bit of a shadow here. That was too much there. All right, fun. Cool. All right, let's go finish out this one now. Or at least get a third layer on it. I am gonna do at least 2 more. Yeah, because we've done it twice. So see, these guys are gonna look like they're on in the background. That one might be kind of hard to figure out. And then, let's see. If your paper is still not quite dry, just be really gentle with your, yeah, that might be weird, but we'll try. Just be really gentle with your pencil. Don't let that go in too hard. It'll tear your paper. Okay, so once again, our third layer here is going to be purple again. I'm going to try and learn my lesson from the last time and mix plenty of paint. And then try and remember where I put all of these. I have to go to the eye doctor after this, and I'm really wishing that I could just keep doing this. So if you can keep doing this and you are close in proximity to where I am in our project, consider maybe even a fourth layer if you have the time to let it dry and do that again. Or consider getting out your markers, your paint pens, anything that sounds fun to kind of make faces on these guys. Or maybe even if you want to go the leaf route, if yours are looking more like leaves, do the detail of the leaves. You know, you can give the little, oh gosh, it looks really cool on the screen. It these are turning out cool. I would love to see yours. We need to figure out a good way to share our work. This has been a lot of fun to create. I hope you had a good time too. Had a good time. It's kind of hard to pay attention to which layer. Okay, so I did one here and then one here. So this is going to give the effect that these are all stacked on top of each other, which is pretty cool, I think. If you go to give them faces, you could, use different colors for different layers. Use like your black Sharpie or a black paint marker for the ones that are closest to you. And then like a pencil for the ones behind. So they're like a little less defined. You could wait until they're super dry and come in again with more paint. Oh. You could also come in with collage pieces. Call them leaves, maybe add some little bit of definition for your leaves, and then tear up some other things and kind of build some flowers and put on top of them. This is a really cool exercise. I like this a lot. I hope you had a lot of fun with it. I am going to go ahead and let them dry before I do any more to them. Yeah, what a neat method. I've never played with this method before. So, very cool. We created a shape out of some trash. And we're just repeating it and adding more to it. And then over here, I like this a lot. I think maybe just a little bit more purple. Like kind of another layer. Now I kind of wish that I had been patient and done one and then the other, because then we would have one more dark layer here. So instead, I'm just going to kind of add another dark layer underneath them as more of a shadow again, especially in here in this middle ground. It really is much easier to paint with a board. So keep that in mind, as I will too. All right. Those were fun. A little bit different. I'll let them dry. I might not get to putting in my details on these until next week when we meet. So if you don't get to it till then, great. We'll do it together. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week and a good weekend. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for being creative in all of your capacity, in all of the ways that you're creative every single day, because we all are. I appreciate you practicing and strengthening those muscles with me. Have a lovely rest of your day.